I see it in your face, kid, the way the world's been, tossing you the way they turned away like you were nothing. People stepped on you, laughed at you, treated you like dirt. I feel that sting. They think you're a joke, a punchline. But jokes have teeth when they learn to bite back. That storm they brewed to drown you, it won't break you. It will come back and swallow them. They stir up betrayal, whispers, cheap games, certain their scheme will finish you. But storms don't pick favorites. When the chaos spins, you either melt or you become the force itself. You've got a flare inside you, anger, hurt, fire, not the soft wish that everything will fix itself. Don't cling to that false comfort. Let every cut, every betrayal, every shove heat you, let it temper you. Feed that hurt, shape it into something sharp. When you finally let it loose, kid, when you stop smiling to spare them and start serving truth, you won't merely get even, you'll level up. They think you're broken. They don't see the quiet. Watching you, you're collecting pain, honing it into a blade. Soon you'll cut clean through their small plots. You'll stand while their facades crumble in the very chaos they thought they controlled. They kicked you, lied to you, twisted your kindness into a fault and made you doubt yourself. Funny how they break you then blame you for the pieces. But that softness, that was their misread. People who fall to the bottom and survive learn how to rise. Harder, they become weather no one can forecast. That terrifies them. You were gentle, too long, now you're ready to climb out of the grave. They buried you in and show what happens when the buried return. They wanted a storm, give them a hurricane. Hurricanes erase the past, leave no trace, end the games. They chose this, kid, let them live with that choice. They thought they could toy with you, treat your life like a joke, like you were disposable. But now, it's your turn to show them they picked the wrong soul to cross. You're not here to play hero. Heroes save others. You, kid, you endure. And in the end, it's not the heroes who remain. It's the survivors, the ones left, standing when everything else burns. The storm they created will tear them apart, but you'll stand, calm in the center, untouched, unstoppable. When the chaos dies down, when they're broken and begging, that's when you smile. Not in cruelty, but in triumph. That's when they'll understand what real power is. Not destruction, endurance. The strength to rise when others fall. That's the lesson they'll never grasp. Funny thing, kid, they think they're invincible, hiding behind lies, masks, and cowardly little games. But invincible people, they shatter hardest because they've never tasted loss. They've never known betrayal the way you have. They've never had to crawl through the dirt just to keep breathing. You have, and that's makes you dangerous, truly dangerous. They think pain weakens you, but pain, it transforms. When you hit rock bottom, something changes. You stop caring, you stop bending to their rules, their fake smiles, their hollow praise. That's real freedom, the kind that can't be taken, because when you no longer crave their approval, you become unstoppable. Pain doesn't break you, it builds you. Every wound, every betrayal, every cruel word, it forged you in fire, stripped away the weak, left behind the strongest version of yourself. Now you're not just surviving, you're a weapon. They're still playing games with sticks while you've turned into a storm. And the best part, they don't even see it coming. They think they've won. But you and I know, this is just the beginning. They started this chaos, but they never realized you are the storm, the one that tears their illusion apart piece by piece. Because the thing people fear most isn't death, it's facing the power of someone who's already walked through hell and learned to smile. Pain? That's not what they fear. Losing? No, not that either. What people fear most is being forgotten. They crave significance. They want their lies, their betrayals, their tiny lives to mean something. But here's the truth: when you rise from the ashes of what they tried to destroy, they'll be the ones erased. They'll fade into nothing, just a footnote in your story, a reminder of the fire that forged you. And you'll stand tall, untouched, while they crumble under the weight of their own chaos. They'll wonder where it went wrong, but by then, it'll be too late. They'll be ghosts lost in the storm they created while you thrive in the empire you built from their ruins. But don't fool yourself, it won't be easy. They'll drag you through the dirt, whisper your failures, shove your past in your face. They'll use every trick to pull you down, and that's when you laugh. That's when you remind them you're not who you used to be. You're not the weak, frightened thing they once broke. You've evolved, stronger, sharper, darker. Let them think they still know you. Let them believe you're predictable, because when the time comes when you finally decide to unleash what's been sleeping inside, they won't even see it coming. They'll drown in the storm they birthed while you move through it like a god of ruin. That's when you strike, not out of rage, but out of mastery, to show them what real power looks like. not destruction, but endurance, the kind of strength that keeps rising long after the ashes settle. Because this isn't about revenge, kid, it's about survival. It's about proving that no matter what they throw, you'll never break. You'll keep standing, keep moving, keep fighting until the storm runs out of breath. And when it does, you'll still be there, calm, alive, unshaken, the last one standing. The storm they created will consume them all, but not you, never you. You ever notice, kid, how people act tough when they've got the little crowd, their safety net? They get loud when they've got numbers, hurling words like knives, drunk on borrowed courage. But take that away, take the audience, the pack, the illusion, and they're nothing, just empty echoes, trembling in the silence they once filled with noise. They're all alone, that's the irony, kid. People only feel mighty when they've got an audience to applaud their noise. But put them in silence, strip the crowd away, and watch them unravel, alone with their thoughts. Their bravado thins and they find out they're not invincible after all. You've known that place. You've walked through your own fires without a single cheer. You felt the cold, the dark, and you survived. Hell, you didn't just survive, you grew. That's why you're different. You don't crave applause. You don't need a crowd to validate your strength. While they wasted time on petty games, you were quietly constructing something real, something solid. Of course they missed that they were too busy peering down, assuming you were weak. But storms don't care about preparation or expectation. When the storm lands, it lands, and when it does, their numbers won't save them. They'll fall, and you'll remain because you are the storm. Funny thing, those same people who shoved you into the dirt, who handed you to the wolves, they'll come crawling back. When the wind turns, they'll pretend they changed, that they've seen the error of their ways. But you, and I know better people don't transform overnight. They panic. They scramble when their little power slips. By the time they realize what's happening, by the time they see you standing unbroken, it'll be too late. The tempest they birth to drown you will swallow them whole. And you won't lift a finger to push them under. They'll tear each other apart trying to survive the chaos they made. And that's your opening. That's when you step in and reclaim what was taken. This isn't petty. Revenge is for those still bound to others' opinions. What you want is control, the restoration of what belongs to you. Not to punish, but because you deserve to rise. You deserve to stand above the ashes they left and call the shots while they choke on the dust of their mistakes. Hear me, kid, real power isn't about snapping back or proving a point to spectators. Real power is the quiet that follows endurance. It's the authority that comes from surviving, from being forged by hardship. It's the ability to move forward while they're still stumbling. When they finally fall to pieces, you won't be gloating, you'll be building, and they'll be left to wonder where it all went wrong. That's the victory, you unbowed them, forgotten. What you take isn't real power. True power is what people hand you freely. It's making them see you don't crave their nod, their pity, or their mercy. You need nothing from them. Once they grasp that you've become someone they can't steer or twist, you've already won. And the beauty? You don't have to burn with hatred. Anger is the predictable reaction they expect. It's their script. But when you refuse to feed it, when you refuse to let them steer your feelings, you become untouchable. That's the real freedom, rising above the petty games they drowned you in. And that terrifies them. They pretend strength because they never had to face themselves. They never stood before the mirror and met the truth. You did. You stared into your own dark and didn't flinch. You owned it, turned it into armor. That's what they can't comprehend. They kicked off the storm, thinking they controlled the weather. They forgot the storm doesn't care who lit it. Storms only care about devastation. When the dust clears and the chaos fades, you'll remain, not because you're crueler, not because you're stronger by default, but because you became the storm. Let them celebrate their little wins. Let them play their childish games. Soon they'll see the tempest they birthed bearing down on them, and there'll be nothing they can do. Remember, they started the storm. You'll finish it.